All right, so shout out to all my money mind investors who are here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be breaking on some of the hottest stocks in the market. We're going to be looking at NVDA, AMD, Tesla, and Apple. So we'll go over key technical levels. I know technical analysis is not something everyone's familiar with, so we just want to get into it, right? So right away, we're going to look at trend patterns, price targets, so you know exactly what to watch for if these companies get to these levels and when to execute. All right, let's jump right into it. So first things first, you're going to see here we have a monthly chart on NVIDIA. Now, personally, the way I do my technical analysis, I like to look from the monthly and work my way in. So we're going to go from monthly, weekly to daily. But the monthly gives me a better overall view as to everything what's going on. So you can see here, NVIDIA was at a high of $153. That was made here this month in January. I got some notes here that, I'm going to reference along the way just so it could be a lot smoother of a transition. So we're at a high of 153. As of lately, I've been very vocal on my social media. I'm a little bit more bearish on NVIDIA as compared to the rest of the world. So I feel like I'm an island by myself. But essentially, we're seeing here NVIDIA starting to kind of break down. It kind of, balance off here, reaching the lows of October of last year, and then it popped. So we had the deep seek drama, dilemma, whatever you want to call it. Personally, for me, I had a lot of people asking me, hey, should I be buying? Should I be buying? Look, I don't give financial advice, but if if you're someone who wants to be an investor in Nvidia, most definitely this was a time and a place to at least start a position. And the reason why you see I have this green line here, stock prices tend to move in trends. We came really close to touching that line, and you see buyers step right back in. So we went as low as about 116, and then buyers stepped right back in, and now we're about 123. Now, me personally, I think we do have a chance to go lower. We could go down on the weekly to get a better gauge. Like I said, a gap down here because of the whole deep seek dilemma. So, really and truly, if you know the two main things you really need to know for charts, or not the main only things, but two important things that you need to know for charting is support and resistance. And the easiest way to break it down is anytime you see a stock moving up and then it comes back down, that means whatever level it rejects, that's what you call resistance. So it's basically pushing the stock back. And then what you're going to see is that when a stock gets a support, or aka demand, that's when buyers tend to step in and pushes the stock upwards. So as of right now, Nvidia came down to what I call a very important demand area, so buyers step back in. In order for Nvidia to get back going, Nvidia has to break over this line, which is $140. So we need to see Nvidia with volume break above this price in order to get bullish again. So here's the main things that we're gonna pay attention to. Right now, I have a price target, a first price target for Nvidia of $110. Not saying we will get there, but if it does get there, that's the first price target I'm looking at. Second target, $100, and then the third target anywhere between 91 and $83. So write these prices down. Now, this once again, this isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you what I will be doing, or what I am looking at, potentially where I may be executing. Right? We have analysts saying, hey, this stock can go to $220, and on the low end $135. We're clearly below that 135. So would it shock me to see Nvidia come back up here, fill this gap, and blast off? No, not at all. It will not shock me. I don't like betting against Nvidia. However, I do understand sentiment, and to me, sentiment is slightly trending towards the downside, at least temporarily. And then if we go on the daily, I can show you quickly here what I'm looking at is, like I said, stocks like to move in trends. So what we're looking at here is a downtrend on the daily, right? So if when I say, hey, it needs to break out over 140, it really lines up perfectly with what I'm looking at right now. So if it doesn't break up over this and stay above, then we could potentially be looking for more downside potential. Next on the list, let's take a look at So Tesla has earnings today. I really, really, I'm excited for this one. But let's do an overall analysis on this stock. Tesla was at a high of 488. Everybody knows, if you've been following me, I've been very bullish on Tesla since it was. Actually called the lows of 140 here in April. That was actually pretty incredible last year. And then Tesla went on a massive run, and that's not surprising to me. But overall, what we could look at, we could probably throw in the moving averages here. So we have the 50 and the 200 moving average. So these can either act as support and also as resistance, right? So that's something you want to pay attention to. So we have the 50 EMA and the 20 moving average out here. Essentially, Tesla has earnings today. So actually you can kind of see the blue mark right now. So Tesla is actually down in the market. So this may work out perfectly with my analysis. So, you know, we'll see. But what we're going to look at here is my first price target for Tesla. Tesla is basically, let's delete this here. Right, so Tesla is going to find support. These green horizontal lines that I got here is typically either support or resistance. But my first price target that I'm looking at is roughly between 363 and 340. Now for Tesla, I got to give ranges because it's too volatile of a stock to be kind of precise. I have to give ranges. But anywhere between 363, 340, that's where I'm first looking at. Anywhere between 350 and 300, that's where I'm second place I'm looking at. So 315 around here to 300. That's the next place I'm looking at. And then the third place is 273, 250. That's the price targets that I'm personally looking to add to my Tesla position. So that's a full disclosure. I don't know if we will get there. Like I said, analysts have expectations of a high of $550 in the short term and a low of 120. So it can go lower, but these are the areas that I'm looking at. So I'll give you all guys some gems right now for Tesla. The market's going to be paying attention for its earnings. They're going to be looking at auto margins. So whether it's going to beat the street estimate of 16.3% compared to last September, I think it was 17%. So they want to see if auto margins are going up or if it's going back downwards. They're going to be listening very closely to autonomy. Now, the reason Tesla is like the hardest one to chart up or to like kind of gauge as to what's going to happen is because Elon Musk is in a very, very interesting position. The fact that he's basically in arms with the chief commander of the free world, Donald Trump, makes Elon in a position that is very, very difficult because Elon Musk can kind of do not almost anything, but he really has a lot of power in his hands to be able to advance his autonomous mission. So that's just something you want to pay attention to. That makes it very hard. The reason Tesla stock exploded since after the election is because now Wall Street analysts are really starting to listen to the fact, or is really starting to take in the fact that Tesla is a robotics company while they've been viewing it as a car company for the last, maybe the last decade, really and truly. So that's just some of the things that we want to pay attention to. So they're also going to be listening to the cyber cab. They want to know if the volume production is still on par for full year 2026. So the cyber cab is the vehicle without the steering wheel so that it could go pick up people. That's something they're looking at. And they're also looking to see if the deliveries for Tesla is still in the 20 to 30% range that Elon Musk had basically forecasted versus a street estimate of 14% in deliveries. And Wall Street will be listening to the affordable models. So if you didn't know, Tesla said in the first half of 2025, they will be releasing their new Model Q, which will be their affordable model. So people are expecting it to be anywhere from $30,000 or less. So that's going to be huge because to me, that's going to be one of the biggest catalysts in the short term for Tesla in order for the growth story to continue. So next up, AM Drizzle. Everybody knows me, follow me. I love this company. I really do. I love their leadership. I love what they're doing. But AMD's been getting worked, right? So AMD's down right now, currently 49%. Man. Anyhow, so if you go to my YouTube video, I got the stock pick of the year. I have it as AMD. So they have earnings next week. So we're hoping for the best. But what I will say is AMD had a high of $227, and right now it's at $117. So what's the first price target that I'm looking at for AMD? Well, all now. To be honest with you, anything below 120 to me is a steal. The other second price target that I got is 100 to $92. So if it goes lower, 100 to about 92, and then the third price is $71. Now, I really don't want to see it go to 71 because structurally that changes things. If I'm someone, I like to make technical analysis simple. We have a low, we have a high. So if AMD comes out and takes out this low, which is 91, where's 70? 70 bucks is, yeah, so $70 is all the way down here, or $71 is all the way down here. So that means AMD will have to invalidate this low, which I don't like to see. And that technically is a problem because once you break out this low below 97, 98, then from a technical perspective, I don't like that. Now you're breaking structure, right? So you're going to get a lot of massive lower lows. And if it breaks underneath there, then $71 is a real possibility. Now, if it could get there, it sucks. I hope at 71 it's able to reverse and then boom to the upside. But there is a chance it could get there. But earnings next week, I'm really, really cross fingers, really hoping AMD does its thing and then explodes to the upside. I won't get excited for this until this gets over $165. But in the interim, we're looking at 143. If it could get to $143, let's go to the candles on a daily time frame. Yeah, so if it could get over 100 right here, $143, get to 143, and then we will potentially be able to see 150. And then after that, we will be able to see 161. So, like I said, my price target, anything below 120. So currently, AMD is a steal in my personal opinion. Second price target, anywhere between 100 and 92. Third price target will be $71, and that's where I will be averaging down heavily on my position. I've been investing in AMD since 2022. So at $71, it will be close. I think I will be in the negative on my long-term shares. Analysts have this going to as high as 250, but as low as 110 currently. After their earnings, we will see if analysts change their minds or anything like that. But we're looking for 143 in the interim. We really want to see that stock price get over there, because then we have a strong possibility of going back up to 160s and then potentially back over our all-time high of 227. If you subscribe, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. I'll drop that link in the description below. I gave my price target for end of year of 2025, and in my investing community, the link will also be in the description. I gave my end of year target for 2026 for AMD, but that's on, it's a conditional bold prediction because they need to do certain things that I need to see in order to see that price target hit. So you could get the free newsletter, or you could join the community where you will get a mandatory one-on-ones with me, and we come up with an investing strategy that fits your goals, your risk tolerance, the whole works. And then finally, let's take a look at Apple. Now, I wish I had made this charting video earlier because Apple actually fell to a really good level earlier this week, and basically 220, 219, right? What was the low on this? 219, yeah. So 220 was a level I was very interested in. I was hoping we could get to 204. We didn't get that, but Apple right now is back up at 239. So with that being said, we could throw on let's throw on the EMAs. You could see why I liked Apple. Apple here, it dipped below the 50 moving average, touched the 200. It got support here. Remember, support is where buyers step in. And then now we shot back up to 239. We're looking to go 240, and Apple, really and truly, based on this momentum, is looking to make new all-time highs. I wouldn't be surprised if it does that in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So overall, that's what we're looking at. The first price target, if for whatever reason Apple dips again or Apple goes back lower, If it goes below that 220, because I don't think it's going to touch it twice and stay, I think it might dip. But if it does go below the 220, we're looking at between 204 and 202. That's the prices I'm looking at. The second price I'm looking at is 185 and 170. I don't see it going much lower than that unless the story of Apple severely changes. And you will notice that my range for Apple is a lot smaller than my ranges for the other stocks. And that's just because Apple's a less volatile stock compared to the rest. So it's a little bit easier to chart up Apple when it comes to giving more specific price targets. But like the others, analysts have Apple going to 325 in the short term and as low as 183. So it's going to be hard to see 183, which will be somewhere down here. That's going to be what if we were to get a drop on that, that would be 183. Will be a 30% discount, which is, a pretty good discount to buy a massive cash generating company like Apple. So, like I said, this is pretty much it. Let's go take a quick look at Tesla. Tesla dipped down to 365. Remember that first price target I gave you was 363, and now it's back up to 404. I don't know. Tesla might blast off, to be honest with you. So the earnings call, I believe, starts at 5:30, somewhere around there, Eastern time. So we'll be looking into that. But let's just take a look quickly here. We have the earnings calendar today, after market, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. They're reporting right now. Tomorrow, what big companies do we have? We have Apple, we have Visa, nice credit card company, Intel. That's pretty huge for chips. And that will be it for this week. The rest of good earnings will be after this week, going into next week. So with that being said, so these are my top stocks to watch right now. Keep an eye on those key resistance levels and support zones, or resistance and demand zones. They could dictate the next big moves. Let me know which stock you're watching the most. Drop a comment and let me know. Also, don't forget to hit the like if you found this helpful, and subscribe for more technical breakdowns like this in the future. I appreciate it. My money mind investors, let's get this money, let's execute, and don't be scared. And like I say here, let's invest smarter, earn more, live free.